The Weekly Warp Pipe.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Weekly Warp Pipe, a podcast dedicated to retro video games, 80s and 90s toys, and all things nostalgia. This week, we're jumping into the Warp Pipe and going back and taking a look at spooky retro video games. We made a top 10 list of games we think you should be playing and checking out this spooky season. Now, this necessarily doesn't make the game scary, but maybe put you in that Halloween spirit, so to say. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. What's up, everyone? RussLyman here.
What's up, guys? It's me, your boy Jay, NES Addict.
And welcome back to the Weekly Warp Pipe.
Where we at, Russ? Like 27, 28 now?
Yeah, I think 27, episode 27, so we're going strong. We're in our spooky episodes.
That's right. Halloween time.
I know it. We're going to be discussing our top 10 spooky retro video games. So this could be, you know, anything that's a retro game, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega, and all that jazz. Mix it up a little bit.
That's right. The only caveat that me and Russ had to come up with, or I would have had a list of like 5 Castlevania games. One Castlevania game per list.
Well, we could do one game per franchise. How about that? Because there's
yeah. Okay, there we go.
But yeah, with Castlevania, you could literally have the whole list be Castlevania games.
Exactly. That's all you need.
Before we jump into it, I was going to say anything happened this week?
I mean, I feel like I have to grab this to make this announcement.
I can't reach mine.
So, Tom DeLonge joined Blink 182 again, and for people like Russ and I who grew up on that stuff,
that's for sure.
Is the coolest. No offense to Matt Skiba, but he wasn't cutting it. Go back to Alkaline Trio. We want Tom back. And they're coming out with an album and a full tour. And I got my tickets this morning and I'm ready to go.
Nice. We were trying to get tickets. We didn't secure any yet, but they have so many different pre-sales that,
right,
you know, we'll get another shot. They're coming to Madison Square Garden. That's the closest to me. They're also going to Brooklyn in New York and Boston at some point. So I'll definitely make it to one of the shows.
You got lots of options.
Or if you want to go out to Vegas next year, they're playing the When We Were Young tour.
That's right. Are they co-headlining with Green Day?
Yeah, they're co-headlining with Green Day, and there's like 40 other bands that are all like pop punk and awesome. MXPX is playing. It's one of my favorite bands. I don't think I'll make it to that show, though. I don't know.
Me either. Something Corporate's playing. I think that's cool.
Yes, yeah, they signed on. So never know. Who knows? We'll see what happens. This past weekend, I went to Syracuse, New York for Retro Game Con. Pat that puts it on invited me out. I drove the car out there and we displayed it inside and showed it off for everyone. People were taking pictures with it. And yeah, it was a good time. I live streamed the event on Sunday from my YouTube channel, RussLyman, and we did a few times on Instagram and TikTok. I walked around the convention showing it off and stuff. Picked up a few things. I got like 9 NES controllers that I can customize, a NES shell. I got some cool patches.
Nice.
And then I got this awesome, dope Doom jacket from my friend Tom Bullman. His company is Bull Airs. He does custom shoes and he has jackets and clothes and stuff too. So I picked that up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What were your patches?
I got them right here if you want to see them.
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
In this baggie. Sorry for people who are listening. You can't physically see the patches, but it is a Metroid here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, little Metroid. And it's Samus's like S.
Oh, Screw Attack.
Yeah, so I can I was thinking maybe put this on a jacket like there, maybe the Metroid on my shoulder or something like that.
Yeah, those are sick.
And then it was 3 for I think 25, and I got Yoshi Egg.
So,
pretty awesome. Woofin Wings iron-on patches.
Woofin Wings.
So she's probably on Etsy if you want to grab some patches.
Gotcha.
All right. Enough catching up. Let's get into spooky games.
All right, Russ. Why don't you kick it off for us, dude?
I'm going to kick it off with an obvious one. Friday the 13th on NES.
All right, we got a crossover there.
I'm wearing my shirt and my hat with the 8-bit Jason awesomeness. Look at this here. The brim.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's pretty cool. I picked that up at a convention a little bit ago. But yeah, NES Jason. For the time when it came out, hear me out, okay? You're going from the only other horror games I can think of, or like spooky games, okay? We'll go with that. Would be like the Atari, right? They had Texas
Like Haunted House.
Haunted House. They did have Texas Chainsaw Massacre on there, and Halloween. And those were like blocks or whatever. But you get over to NES, a little bit better graphics, but definitely they did the atmosphere pretty good. It's got like creepy music, and you're going into the cabin, and you have like this anxiety of like, where's Jason? Where's he gonna pop out? You're trying to navigate these corners, and he's like, Shah! Jumps out, and you're like, oh my god, I'm battling him. Let's go. And you fight for a bit, and then he disappears, and then you're off fighting again, waiting to see if the children alarm goes off. A lot of people don't like the game, probably because they don't know how to play it. There's a certain way you have to play. It's very explained weird in the game and confusing. And I've gotten multiple books that help explain that and make it a little bit easier to tackle. And, you know, it's Jason Voorhees, spooky and goes with Halloween, right?
Russ, is that a game you've beaten?
I technically, yes.
Okay.
But
hey, I haven't beaten it at all. So you got me beat. That's a game on my list of my like backlog that I really want to try one day. I know Michael Beat It Game Genie is a big fan of that game, as is Tyler from Generation Gap Gaming.
Yes.
And I think both of those channels have a decent explanation on how to get through that game. So I need to sit down one day and pay attention and really put forth some effort, because I think that game is underrated because of people don't understand how to play it.
Right, exactly. There's like, I watched a few speed runs, and there's a way to get the torch, like one of the best weapons in the game, and it doesn't take too long. So once you have that, you'll be able to take more damage off of Jason. You have to beat him 3 times in order to beat the game. So you go through 3 nights.
All right.
Pretty cool though. I dig it.
Very cool. Well, I'm gonna start this party off with Monster Party.
Nice. I saw you playing that the other night. You were streaming.
Yeah, such a wild game. There's only one level that I think is just garbage, and it's because it's like the trifecta of awfulness.
Okay.
You're in a maze of doors.
Okay.
And you have to find your way through all these doors. Meanwhile, there's lightning flashing, so you feel like you're about to have a seizure the whole level while you're lost.
Yeah.
And it's like this repetitive howling of the wind. It sounds like wind howling through your door, and it's just so loud and obnoxious. And like, you just get so frustrated trying to find your way through it. That's the only level that I kind of hate. Everything else is really cool. It does have some spooky atmosphere, especially in the first level.
Oh yeah.
You reach this like weird cactus, and then you kind of, when you cross the threshold of this cactus, like everything gets dark and creepy and bloody and weird. But it also has some humor too. Like you fight like a sushi roll at some point.
You fight a sampler platter.
Yeah.
It's literally like, I forgot what the first thing is.
It's like shrimp.
It's like shrimp. Then it's onion rings. And like, I'm like, what is this?
And like a sushi roll.
Yeah. So that's pretty wild. I dig that, you play as Mark, regular kid. He's got a bat beating people up, and then when you get these pills, you could turn into Bert, the dragon.
Yep. He's awesome. When you're Bert, things are a lot easier. But yeah. Great game. Very underrated. Like I said, if they'd have just made a couple design choices on that one level.
Right.
I could even deal with the music. Just it's the flashing. Just drives me crazy. Anyway,
drives you
my
nuts.
Rant for the night.
But the box art is awesome too. If you haven't seen it,
it's got like the Lagoon Monster and Dracula. It's super cool.
They did change some stuff from bringing it to the US. So if you play the Famicom version, because the plant that you fight is supposed to be Audrey 1 from Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep.
Like they couldn't get licenses for like all these certain enemies that were going to be in the game, so they had to switch it for the US. But yeah, definitely check it out.
Very cool.
Sticking with that theme, I'm going to put a Monster in My Pocket is on my list
We have another match, Russ.
for NES there. I streamed this the other day. What was I streaming it on? Either Instagram or TikTok, and I ended up beating it. So it's certainly a fun game, that's for sure. And yeah, you could play as either Dracula or Frankenstein's monster. They play about the same though. And yeah, it's a fun like platformer beat 'em up style game.
Who's your go-to?
Usually Dracula.
Yeah, same here.
But it's super fun. They have all the, if you collected any of the monsters in my pocket, they're all enemies in the game. Like they stay pretty true to I guess the source material.
And it's kind of like Micro Machines where everything's on like a small scale. Like you're running across a kitchen table and like there's a salt shaker.
It almost reminds me of like Rescue Rangers. You're running across the stoves and
that's
all
another
that stuff.
good observation.
Yeah, but super fun. And yeah, you can definitely beat it if you stick with it. It's not that difficult.
Totally agree. Yeah, that's a great one. That was one of and the other thing too, Konami made that game. So like they really,
the best is that they have, there's like a CRT TV and it's a Konami brand.
Yeah. The only complaint I would have to say about Monsters in My Pocket is there's a lot of slowdown and like kind of flashing on the screen.
Yes. If you get a lot of enemies on screen, everything's just like, whoa.
Which is kind of surprising because I feel like that game came out a bit later.
Yeah.
In the NES life, and Konami made it. So I don't know. Interesting.
Who knows?
All right. I'm gonna switch it up here, and I'm gonna say on the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I almost bet you have this, Russ. This is probably another one we're gonna agree on. Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
That's on my list. Yep.
Yeah. I never made it to the end of that game. Apparently, there are a ton of levels.
There are.
Like
I mean, this will keep you busy. It might even be more than that.
Wow. I've probably made it to like 10 or 11.
That's it? I feel like that's just breaking the surface.
I haven't played it very long. The copy I had actually sold on Whatnot a couple months back. So yeah. I no longer have a copy. But yeah, fun game. Holds my attention for a little while. And it's kind of cool to see the zombies.
I like the naming of the levels are very clever. It's like like either it's a pun on movies or a musical group or something like that. One of them was, I don't know if it was exactly New Kids on the Block, like the band, but the stage is basically clones of you and your second player all running around. So they're like, it might be the clones on the block or clones on the block, something weird like that. But
I've never paid attention to that.
Paid attention to the how they name everything. One's like, the body snatchers and like, I don't know, it's just clever. Good times. They have a ROM hack called More Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which I played, which is basically, it's literally the same game. They just changed up the levels a little bit. Me and my buddy Joe Sheevy were actually streaming this on Saturday. I was over his house. I got to drive to New York and hang out with them. So I was like, let's stream. And we picked this game because it's a fun 2-player game.
Yeah. And basically you're just trying to save the neighbors, right? Like free the neighbors one by one.
That's it. Each stage you'll have like either 10 neighbors or whatever. There'll be a number and you get a little map and then you can go find and save as many as you can. There'll be a cheerleader, baby, some tourist looking neighbors, some guy grilling. Very fun. Is
there always like around 10 to 15 neighbors?
No,
or do they get like...
Yeah, you get later in levels. Sometimes it might be like 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
they're just harder to find and stuff, maybe.
Right. And then they have cool like boss battles too. There's like a giant baby that's like running around the stage and you get stomped on and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's a good time.
Giant babies, huh? Sounds terrifying.
What is terrifying though? Silent Hill on PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that game, so fill me in.
Yeah. So this came out back in the 90s and takes place in this creepy town called Silent Hill where like everything's fogged over. Fun fact, it's based on a real town that's in Pennsylvania that had coal mines in it, and the coal mines caught fire and it was like burning nonstop. So like smoke would come out from like vents and this and that. So it was inspired to make, I guess, this game Silent Hill here, kind of the atmosphere, same atmosphere. But you're going through this town, you end up, losing your daughter, and you're trying to find her, and you're walking through all these creepy alleyways, and you hear like monsters, and then the siren goes off. You hear the siren, and that's when everything changes and like melts and goes all like creepy and grotesque. All the monsters are even more gross. Just remember playing it a ton growing up and beating it, and once you beat it, you can get like better weapons, so then you want to go back and play it again. But it definitely plays on sounds a lot because you can't always see everything clearly, so you're going to be hearing like moans and groans and get your heart racing.
Yeah, I bet that would be spooky to play it like at night alone as like a teenager.
Right, absolutely. Good
You're,
stuff.
you're in your room and you're like, whoa. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna go with a point and click adventure on the NES, Maniac Mansion.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's for sure. That's a good spooky one.
I've played it a little bit, and it's kind of weird. You show up at this guy's house, and there's like signs out front, like "Do not enter" and stuff, and you have to make your way through his house, and they end up putting you in a dungeon, and you have to find this one brick in the wall to get out, and you're trying to work with multiple characters.
Right.
Because you get do you get to use 2 or 3 characters?
It's a few different ones. I played it a few times because there's also multiple endings you can get,
right,
depending how things play out. So definitely a fun playthrough, extra playthrough value in it.
The reason I keep wanting to play it is because I want to see if I have the version where you can cook the hamster.
Why, there's a version you can't?
There's a version you can't. They changed it.
Oh, wow.
So I want that exclusive hamster cooking version.
Well, you put the hamster in the microwave and you cook it that way. Okay, You're not like grilling it on the stove.
Right. Yeah, but he explodes, right?
I don't know if he explodes or not.
We're gonna have to find out. But
yeah.
But yeah, and the doctor in the game is like, he's like green looking and weird, and I can't remember if they're from outer space or they're just like, I don't know.
Well, I remember there's a tentacle.
Yeah, there is a tentacle.
So that's, I think, from outer space. It's like one of those. It basically plays off of like a lot of sci-fi, like 50s sci-fi-ish, like a mystery thing going on. Yeah, definitely unique. Came out on the PC as well, but they ported it to the NES. And again, fun cover art.
Yeah, a lot of people love that game. I know. On my retro life, Tyler's mom got it at one point.
Nice.
Kind of cool.
I'll switch it up with some Sega. Decap Attack. You ever hear this one?
Yeah, never played it though.
Super fun. You play as like this mummy looking guy, and basically you could take his head off and you could throw his head as like his attack. Decap Attack, right?
He's getting decapitated.
So, right. So it's a fun, platformer, similar to, I would almost say Sonic, but you're not moving fast. Just kind of how the platforming works, where it's like you go up and down exploring, and it has like a treasure you can get in each level. And the boss fights are, fun. And in between each level, you get like there's like a doctor or something like that, and you can cash in stuff that you found to get like certain power-ups where you'll be like invincible for a bit, or you'll run really fast, so he's like running around. But it has that cool like spooky atmosphere. You're playing as a mummy, and all the enemies are like scary or whatever, and you don't always have your head though, so like you gain it and you can throw it, and then it kind of like comes back almost like a boomerang. But then if you get hit, you lose your head, and then it's just like you're just a torso basically with legs and arms and running around.
Gotcha. So it's a game you can really lose your head over.
Nice.
Cool. Never played that one. I'm gonna bump it over to the TurboGrafx 16 and Splatterhouse.
Oh, that made my list.
Yeah.
I was going back and forth on which one I wanted to put because I've been playing this one, Splatterhouse 2 on Sega, and Splatterhouse 3, and I was like, which one do I like more?
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I know anything about this one at all is because I have the TurboGrafx Mini, and it made the cut on there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like
So
to play it on that because you get turbo on the controller, and
yeah,
I'm the way I'm playing is on my SNES Classic, that's modded, so I have it on there, so I don't get the full function of turbo.
the turbo ability.
Swinging the 2x4 in turbo action.
So it's funny that guy. He always reminds me of Jason because he wears like a
Yes,
similar mask.
yes,
What's his
exactly.
name?
It's I was saying it throughout. I was just literally just streaming it, and I was like, this is his name, and now it's escaping me.
Yeah, of
I
course. I
wonder
would
if
ask you.
the mask has a name or if he has a name too. What the heck is it? Is it Alex? I don't know if it's Alex. Maybe it'll come to me. But what's funny is I cosplayed as NES Jason like this. Oh, it's Rick.
Rick,
That's right. So it's Rick.
retro Rick.
But I cosplayed as this, and someone thought I was Rick from Splatterhouse. And I was like, maybe because of the bright colors or whatever. But yes, he does
Yeah.
have like, it's a mask. It's not a hockey mask. It's like a mask that gets attached to his face that's alive, and it helps him fight the demons and all that stuff.
Weird.
In the TurboGrafx, though, the mask is red.
Yeah.
So when you play on Sega for Splatterhouse 2 and 3, it's white. So I can see, they're like, oh, we want to confuse it with Jason with the white mask. Let's make it red.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he's wearing like torn up, mechanic shirt and pants or whatever. So I can see how he,
And he's
looks
like huge.
right. He's
like
jacked.
a bulky man.
Right. I mean, he's got it. If you're splatting stuff, he gets a 2x4 and you can hit the enemy and they go up against the back wall and literally splat.
Yeah. Yeah. He's splattering everything through that house.
Someone jumped into the stream and they're like, "Oh, you're playing Slaughterhouse?"
Slaughterhouse.
And
Yeah.
I was like, "Close, Splatterhouse."
I could see somebody calling it that. Sounds like something I would say. Yeah, that one has an extra creepy vibe. I mean, you're really going to town on some weird monsters.
Yeah, for sure. Like the first boss in that one is there's a bunch of these like worm things that come out of
pretty
the
grotesque.
Yeah, they try to attack you. The second boss, you're just fighting a possessed room, but it's cool that they explore other.
Oh, like aren't like chairs like trying to attack you?
Yeah, chairs, knives, like chandeliers.
Yeah.
What's unique too is you can still so you can beat the boss, but still get hurt after you won. So you got to be careful because I beat the possessed room, but then the chandelier fell and hit me. But luckily, I had enough life, or else I would have been dead.
Always that last lick they're trying to get on you.
Right. Let's see what else I got on my list. I put on, so I had to choose one, and I chose Castlevania 2. Simon's Quest.
Nice.
I like this one so much because you can play it a lot and I would say not get bored. Like, okay, you play the first one. Once you get good at it, you could speed run that game probably in 15 minutes, maybe.
Castlevania 1.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
I don't know about a speed run. I mean, maybe, but I can beat it in about 30 to 45.
Okay.
Depending on how well I do on the later levels.
But I figure with Simon's Quest, there's so many sections in the game. You could just explore. You can, get more hearts to get more gear. Talk to the village people, and the music is just amazing too.
Yeah,
it stands out. The atmosphere with that, like changing from dusk to like dawn and all that, is very cool mechanic. And then all the ghouls come out, and you can't go into the shops. I thought that was really unique. I just played that one so much more growing up. It has like a nostalgia value for it, and I literally just streamed it like a week or two ago and beat it. I played it for, I think we streamed for like 3.5 hours, and it was a good time.
I beat it for the first time last month, where I got the ending with color.
Oh, okay.
One of the endings. I usually get the black and white ending because it takes me so long.
Right. Yeah,
so
the faster you beat it. Nice. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one. Very cool. All right, we'll keep it with Castlevania, and I chose Super Castlevania 4.
Nice.
It's a tough race between that and the first one for me, but Super Castlevania 4 is just So amazing. The music and all the different levels that
Hmm.
I once took for granted. I like the cavern, like it's so like melancholy, and then you're in like the library and it's like more upbeat. It's just I
It's
don't know,
good
that game's like
variety.
perfect to me. I love it. I love all the different monsters they added, and it seems like you're really starting well outside of the castle on this
Right.
one. You have to make your way to the castle, and then once you get inside, you're like, oh no, here it goes.
Right, right, absolutely. That's fun. Yeah, I have to go back and play this one. I was live streaming today and I was doing um Castlevania Bloodlines on Sega Genesis, which was
Yeah,
like a different beast.
yeah.
But I didn't play that one that much growing up because I didn't own it, nor none of my friends did, so I only got it recently. But I have played Castlevania 4 on Super Nintendo, and yeah, it's super fun. Good time for sure.
Yeah, between the whip, moving eight directions and the music and just and the
Just
being able to
whipping around.
wiggle it around and
You could
this
do the moonwalk.
moonwalk. Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. It's to me it's my favorite game of all time.
Perfect. Nice. Let's see. I'll switch it up here. I picked a PC game, or you could play in the 32X, but that's Doom, the original
Oh
Doom.
yeah, I remember playing that on the PC back in the day.
Yep. Classic scary game. You're fighting demons from hell.
That's right.
Doesn't get much scarier than that. Yeah, hearing the demons like making their sound effects, and you're in tight corridors and it's dark. Maybe you got limited ammo. Certainly could be scary and spooky. And then the music, gets you pumped up, ready to shoot some demons. That's a good time for sure.
And doesn't it show like the dude's face getting
Yeah, so that's
like
how like your health kind of deteriorates. Your guy at the bottom,
yeah,
he starts getting bloody and beat
yeah,
up, like he's actually hurt. So I thought that was a cool mechanic for sure.
yeah, I like that too. Yeah, that was fun. That was one of the better computer games back in the day. I feel
What
like.
What's funny is like I played that like literally in my school library in middle school.
Isn't that
Like
crazy?
someone loaded it, that and Wolfenstein, they loaded it onto the computer somehow. I don't know how. And then we were in there and I was like, what is this game?
Yeah, Wolfenstein. That's funny because I mean, it's got the whole Nazi theme going on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I'm surprised that made it to the old school computer.
It was less strict back then.
I guess so. Back in the '90s.
That's it. Well, we got
Let's see.
two more left.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go with the Super Nintendo version.
Okay.
Super Ghouls and Ghost.
Nice, nice.
Super hard game, but I think if I practiced it more, I could get really good at it. But
So hard. I was trying to stream this too the other day, and literally someone in the chat was like, "You're not very good at this game, are you?"
oh, don't feel bad, Russ. Neither am I. It is. I think I've made it to level 3 or 4 is the farthest I've ever gotten in it. But it is brutally hard. It's amazing to me people that are good at it, like Megadan 29 and even
Yep.
T Belly, I think was good at it. But like that game to me is so hard. But it definitely has that Halloween vibe you want. All the
Hmm.
different ghosts and goblins. And the
Yeah.
reason I chose that one over the original is because it's just it looks so much better on the Super NES.
Right. Well, have you played Ghouls and Ghosts on Sega?
No, and
It's
that's why I
it's
couldn't speak to it.
it's almost like a hybrid because it you don't get double jump and all that stuff like you have in Super Ghosts and Goblins. But it's similar to the NES one, but just with updated graphics almost.
Oh, gotcha. So it's more like along the lines of the first.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But again, I tried playing that one and couldn't get anywhere. Like that those three games just like super hard.
Yeah.
You can't play it like casually, like nonchalantly. Like you really got to focus on where you're jumping, where your character's going, and what projectiles are on screen.
I beat the NES version for both loops to get the real ending.
Oh, okay.
That's something I'm really proud of, but I've never even come close to the Super Nintendo one, and I've never played the Sega one. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, put it on your list.
and that's it. It's on there, backlist.
Okay, I got two left. This one may surprise you.
Okay,
It's on Super Nintendo. Super Metroid.
dude. And you know what? You don't automatically think scary,
Right.
but it is.
I think it should be. It probably never makes a spooky list or scary list, but like that's all about scary in the atmosphere. You're on a planet like by yourself,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
trying to
terrifying.
like go deeper underground into these caverns, fighting all these monsters. Going to the abandoned ship where it has like the
Ghost.
ghost. Like that's creepy.
Yeah.
There's so much like spooky stuff in Super Metroid. It definitely should be talked about more on like these like Halloween lists or spooky lists for
Could you
retro games.
imagine being on a planet alone and down in the depths of the planet and having to fight Kraid as it pops out of the lava
Right? Like,
all alone? That's terrifying.
and then it comes back when it with it's just bones after it's. Oh no, I'm thinking of the other guy, not Kraid. The Croc.
No, and that's what I'm thinking of actually. Crocomire.
Crocomire.
Yeah. Yeah. We're thinking of the same guy.
But Kraid was scary too. He's
Yeah.
like 10 stories tall.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, like a big lizard man. Yeah,
Yeah,
shooting his belly
so
button landing at you.
Super Metroid, spooky game for sure.
Yeah,
Great
and the
soundtrack.
intro.
The
Intro is
intro.
scary.
Oh my god, like yeah, totally. It's like silent, and then you're seeing like dead bodies, literally that are scientists that got killed
And
trying to protect the Metroid.
and for a minute you think they can do this on Nintendo.
Right.
Nice. That's a good one. I'll go with the next one real quick. I went the Addams Family on NES.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you get to play as what's the dad's name? I can't remember. Gomez. You get to be Gomez. Yeah. You're going around. You're trying to. I haven't got too far in the game, but it definitely has this spooky atmosphere. You're out in graveyards and stuff like that. So I think you're probably trying to save Fester or Pugsley or somebody. I can't remember.
Okay, someone got kidnapped.
Yeah, I think I could be totally making this up. Let me know in the comments if you've beaten it. I just know
I can't
it's
say
spooky.
I ever beat that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also have Fester's Quest on NES.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Which, if you want to play as the uncle, and that's
I still feel like
spooky.
I feel like the Addams Family like theme is a bit spookier than Fester's Quest. It's more like shooting aliens and stuff.
Okay, all right.
So
I dig it.
You got one more?
It's gotta be Resident Evil, right?
I mean, it's got to be.
Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation, I chose. There's a ton of Resident Evil games. There's so many I wanted to include, but again, we were doing one per franchise. So I just felt the original is kind of where, it scared me the most. I played it the first time at one of my mom's friend's house. Like she was going to visit one of her friends, and her friend's son had a PlayStation and he wasn't home. They're like, oh, you can play it. So I popped in Resident Evil, see the zombie on the cover. I'm like, this looks cool. And you're just, walking around this creepy mansion. And I got scared when I was going down this hallway. Right through the windows, this zombie dog comes out, starts chasing me. I'm like, oh my God.
What's funny is I've never really played that game, but I feel like I watched somebody else play that part. And isn't there one part where you walk up on these two zombies and they're like eating something and they turn around? They're like,
yeah, that's the opening first zombie you see.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
I made a custom PlayStation with that scene, with that zombie like head that like turns around. I put that on the PlayStation.
I'll have to watch that video. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to post it out again. But like, hey, it's spooky season. Check out my custom Resident Evil PlayStation that I made.
yeah, you should do that.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many great Resident Evil games. They've remade Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and we're waiting on 4 to come out to be remade. But they're classic. Like if you can't get past the tank controls of the original PlayStation, they did remake it on GameCube, which is it's still a retro console, right? So that would fit.
Yeah,
you can play it on there, and the graphics are. I don't know if there's. I guess they would be slightly better. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, creepy zombies. I just remember like playing it so much growing up, and I would be like walking home from my friend's house and like start seeing stuff, like in the distance or whatever.
Russell's seeing zombies.
Is that a zombie dog?
Is that a zombie dog coming after me? I don't know.
So psychologically, it was messing with my head. Between playing that and Silent Hill, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I can imagine that's pretty scary. I hate that I missed out on those. I just didn't. I didn't have a system at that point in time, so I missed out on those fun games.
Gotcha.
I got one more. You don't want to say this guy's name 3 times. He's the ghost with the most. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Yeah, so Beetlejuice on the NES, it gets a lot of hate because it's an LJN game.
Right.
I don't think it's that bad. I've made it to like level 3 or 4 before. Obviously get to be Beetlejuice and you're I'm not real sure what the end goal is because I don't have the instruction manual, but you probably like trying to find Lydia or something or save the people. I'm not sure exactly, but
yeah, I seen this over the weekend and it was on Game Boy and it was it was like a $20 game or something like that on Game Boy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if it plays exactly like the NES or if it's a little different on Game Boy.
Yeah.
But certainly fun. Yeah, Beetlejuice, that's spooky for sure.
Yeah, great movie. It's a great movie franchise. Why not make a game about it?
Yeah. I just went to maybe 2 weeks ago. We went to New York Broadway to see the Beetlejuice play.
Yeah,
or musical. Yeah,
it's coming to Greenville in February.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely go. It's a great time. We had a blast watching it. So I was like, oh, this is cool.
If I can talk my wife into that.
Yeah.
Probably not after I just spent $250 on Blink-182 tickets. You're welcome, Tom DeLonge.
Where are you?
I'm gonna see you in July.
Nice.
Don't waste your time on me. Don't waste your money on me is what you should say.
That's a spooky music video.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is right before that album came out, I was really into the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I was going to Hot Topic all the time to buy like punk rock CDs and t-shirts and it was like right after Christmas and they had all this Nightmare Before Christmas stuff on sale. And I like loaded up and decorated my whole bathroom. It was awesome.
Nice.
It was like 75% off. I was like, I can't say no.
Yeah, you can't say no.
No.
The deal. Sweet. Well, hey, everyone, thanks for listening to our list, top 10 retro video games. If we missed one that you think should have been on here, you can leave it in the comment section on YouTube or reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. You can find me at RussLyman on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. And Jay, where can we find you?
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, maybe Twitter here and there, and possibly on Whatnot at some point for one final live stream.
Nice. Yeah, all under NES.
All Addict. Under NES Addict. Yeah, I'm terrible at promoting myself.
And next week will be our last spooky episode, and then we'll go back to some regular retro topics for you guys. If you have any suggestions, then please let us know what you want us to cover, and we'll do our best to do so.
We'll do our top 10 Thanksgiving games.
Yes.
Since there's so many.
Possibly. Who knows? We can squeeze it in. All right, guys. As always, I'm RussLyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit.
Take care, everybody.